Hey guys, welcome back to the Hunting Haven. Today we're going to put together a video for you guys on what we do scouting wise. This is not going to be how to find mature bucks. This is trying to find the best spot that you have a chance at actually getting a chance at a deer, whether it be a doe, buck, whatever. So we're going to hit some funnels in here. We've not been in this woods. It's pretty open river bottom. So we're going to bring you along as we find some. Hey guys, so as we're walking through, there's a ditch that runs through this property, as you can see, and you kind of got flat ground all around you, but in here we've noticed there's a nice deer trail coming up for a crossing. We got boot prints in here from somebody else, and that's part of public land. But if you look, we got, where were they? They were right in here, right here. We got fresh deer tracks coming across here. We got some nicer ones up here that are following this ditch. All right, and these river bottoms like this is going to be a main travel corridor you're going to want to look at. It's a change in the terrain, and as the camera gets up this way, you'll be able to see he'll pan around, and it's fairly flat on both sides. And you've got private on the side you're seeing now, and then my left hand side here is public land, and this kind of is a boundary right through here. So this ditch is really going to show you a lot of the deer movement and where they're crossing. Me to say this, there is fresh sign here, but I would not hunt this spot early in the season because you are on public land. We've already seen multiple boot tracks. You're 300 yards, if that, from the parking area. So, I mean, you're going to have people walk in on you. So I would push further back and find a more secluded spot to put a stand in. But we're going to follow this ditch out and see what we can come across, and we'll bring you guys along with us as we find it. Hey guys, just a little tip when you're out here on public land doing your scouting, really keep an eye out for your property boundaries. All right, you got one this way, and then you got one sitting like that. That kind of tells you that the property is a corner right there. So this is a straight property line, and now your property line is going to go more that way. So now we can get back on to this ditch. As we got down through here, the property came up out of the ditch, and we're on this flat top up here in the bottom. Now we're able, I don't know if you can see back through there, but there's a nice ditch going down through there. So we're going to keep following that ditch because now we're back on public land where we're allowed to hunt. Hey guys, so we've been walking this ditch from the front towards the back. We're kind of middle property, but we're running the edge of the property line here. Now, the property line sits further over, but right here's a big thing I want to show you guys on a river bottom on transitions. Sometimes they're the slightest and they don't look like a transition, but what we got here is you got a wide open bottom here. It comes up out of this ditch slash creek. I don't know if you really classify this as a creek down in here, but you got flat land here. We're seeing a lot of deer tracks crossing from the private section over that way through here, and it makes a good transition right here with a funnel. And to me, a funnel in a river bottom like this is different than a funnel in a big hardwoods and cropland, stuff like that. A lot of your river bottoms are just really flat, so you're going to find a funnel in there. You got to find transition on your terrain. And this is perfect. It sits just low enough to where they'll feel comfortable. And you got a lot of these weeds that grow up in these ditches. The deers love to eat on them. And the deer will feel more comfortable down in this lower spot than being up here on this high spot. So that's how I my funnel techniques for the river bottoms are different. And you really got to imagine yourself as the deer and being low enough to feel comfortable. And this spot right here is working out pretty good. We've been dealing with a lot of hickory, and we just now started popping into some oaks, and I see more back that way. So we're going to continue this line. I'm thinking right back here just might be a good spot for this season. So tag along, and we're going to go check this out, and we'll bring you where I think is going to be the best spot for a setup. Hey guys, something we've noticed as we're walking through this property, the oaks are really thin. You got a lot of hickory and locust, stuff like that down in this river bottom, but acorns are very small. All right. And we just came up on these, and we're starting to see a lot more notched caps. You can see right there on that one, it's a very small notch, but this one has a very big notch on it. And as we're looking around, there's a lot of, the ground is really dry. We ain't had rain here in southern Indiana in weeks, but it's really dry, and you got to pay real attention. This broke up stuff, this is where the deers are coming in here and feeding on these oaks. And as Alex pointed out right before we started in on this, we got these two big oaks right here behind me. We've got another big oak right there. We've also got a nice oak right there. And when you're talking about trying to get in on these deers and getting yourself a higher success rate on being able to just see a deer, this is something I would target myself on hunting river bottoms, because oaks can be very scarce down in these river bottoms, especially ones that produce and the deers are actually going to. There's a big difference in these river bottoms on that, because not every oak produces, and we've known that a lot of times. My cameraman's getting torn up by mosquitoes right now. But we're actually coming up on a funnel point that I was really wanting to look at and show you guys along this river. But if I had to, in a quick instant hunt in the morning, I would not be above putting my saddle up right here. There's plenty of sign of feed. There's quite a bit of tracks in here, whether it's old and some new fresh stuff. But like I said, this time of year, when you don't get a lot of rain, these river bottoms are hard to judge your sign. But once you've hunted them for a while and that, you can really start picking off the little things that'll tell you whether or not you're in a good spot for a deer. So we're going to go on back. We're within like 200 yards of where I'm really wanting us to have a setup at on this property. We're going to go back there and see if it actually has the sign that we're looking for. But I would not pass this up. This is decent for early season, and you're pretty far back in here. So chances are this would yield a deer, just not as. So the river's right here on this property, and we're dealing with a mix of oak and poplar, some other trees. But as we're coming down, there's a nice deer trail right here off the bank. But what we found is this nice buck bed, is what I'm gonna guess it is. It's kind of just tucked right here. And I mean, he's got a deer trail going right here. I can see where he can get through the backside and cross back on the river. We may have jumped him, I don't know. It's also midday here, a little after midday. So I mean, that's something to really keep an eye on. And I mean, we're getting into some good sign right here. I got a feeling we're getting ready to find a really nice spot for this river crossing. I got a feeling we're getting ready to find it. So we're gonna keep moving. Skeeters are tearing us up, but this is how you guarantee that you can get in here, get some boots on the ground, start finding this deer sign. I mean, our season's 2 weeks out for youth, 3 weeks out for us, and I'm telling you right now, the sign in here, this is opener. All right, guys. So we found them oaks, and we noticed deer sign was coming out really good. What we did was we stayed on that line of oaks, and we followed it down to the river. And then what we're ideally looking for on a river bottom, and one of the quickest ways to be able to get deers in front of you, is to find a river crossing. And that's what we found right here. This crossing comes right here. There's a couple different spots where this bank drops down, and there's a ditch across the river where they're coming out of. But we also have a field over here on that side of the river. And what's lovely about this property is we have an overgrown like CRP field right out here in the middle of this private. So, and our line is a few yards that way. It's right off the edge of that line, of that tree line right here. But when we got up in here, we noticed there's a lot of browse pressure coming along this river. And if we go up here, if you guys can, we'll go up here and we'll take a look at this. Really thick grass. But we gotten into a lot more oaks. And here's that deer trail that we were noticing earlier that's cutting this riverbank. And you can finally see it right through there. It goes right underneath that big hickory. But then as we press out into here, we start getting into this thistle right here. It's been browsed heavily. And this is what you're really looking for in early season. Yes, the oaks are a good ticket. But when you find a spot like this, you got a lot of browse pressure. You got a transition. Nice open. That side is really thick. All right, then you got this out here. This could be potential bedding area. I'm trying to talk a little slower and quieter due to that, because I feel like we're right here where deers could be bedded. But I know by looking at the map a little bit, it looks like it really thickens up more on that side of that private. But right here, I mean, this oak tree right here speaks to me a lot. I mean, you get right up there. This is a good saddle spot. You've got another hickory right there to be really good. I mean, this is a funnel right here. This field's going to funnel them. They're going to want to come out of the corner of it. And any deer walking back and forth across this property, going onto the private, they're going to funnel to this right here. And this is what I largely, almost 90% of the time when I hunt a river bottom, this is what I'm looking for. Is a really tight funnel against the river. And it could be just a narrow strip, 20-yard wide woods with a field edge on it, or just really thick terrain like that is. I mean, that's really thick. But you're going to catch them bucks cruising this. Right there, tail end of our bow season going into firearm season, you get that pre-rut started. And this is really good spot. I think this is one we're going to actually mark on the map and try it out, because I mean, it's got the deer sign, it's got plenty of browse. We found that buck bed. It was what, 100 yards, 200 yards maybe, right up from here. I bet you he's somebody we're going to see coming through here this season. So I've already got this spot marked on my Onyx, and I'm looking at trees, and you know, I was talking about this oak, but this one right here, I mean, that middle tree right there really speaks to me as a spot for us to get up and be able to film, because we could cover this whole area right here. We've got the crossing, plenty of browse. This is quite nice. So what we got here is pawpaws, aka Indiana bananas. This is just a little grove right off this river we just found walking out, and these are actually really good for deers, squirrels. Alex has never had one, so I'm getting ready to cut this one open because it's nice and soft. You can see it move when I push on it. It's moving, where this one is, yes, it's black, but it's not soft. Once they get soft, they're ready to eat. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a knife blade, and there's big seeds in these. They are very seeded. It's very odd to find them right here along the river though, which is cool. So when you tear them open, you got the big seeds. Hey guys, so this is a scout for us. Hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing what we look for, or what mainly I look for. Alex, he knows his stuff on river bottoms, but this is mainly what I would look for on a spot to hunt in these river bottoms. Like I said, we're dealing with really dry conditions this year. So target your oaks, target your stinging nettle areas. Try to find them funnels along the edge of the riverbank, and those are really going to help you on like a river bottom property. I think that spot we got into back here is going to be killer for either youth weekend or us on the opener. I'm really looking forward to it. Not looking forward to mosquitoes though. So, but yeah, hope you guys like this. Leave us a comment, like, share, hit the subscribe button if you don't mind. We appreciate it. And look us up on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's all of them. So until the next one, see you guys.